Hello, students of Mount Sinai Mission School. Welcome to this rapid, high-yield, one-shot revision explainer for Class 10 Biology, Chapter 1. I know those board exams are right around the corner, so और ज़्यादा time waste नहीं करेंगे. Let's just get right into it. Keep your notebook and pen ready, okay? Our goal today is super simple. We are going to revise the complete life processes chapter efficiently and effectively. If you pay close attention to this explainer today, you're going to be completely prepared to tackle this topic in your exams. Chaliye, let's dive in.
Okay, look at this quote. Life processes are the essential activities that maintain life and ensure survival, growth, repair, and reproduction. I literally want you to burn this single line into your memory. It is the ultimate summary of the entire chapter and the baseline definition you absolutely must remember. Literally every single thing we're about to discuss today is just your body doing whatever it takes to fulfill this exact quote.
So, today's revision is structured around what we call the 4 pillars of life. 1. Nutrition, 2. Respiration, 3. Transportation, and 4. Excretion. And then finally, we'll wrap the whole thing up with number 5, our CBSE exam alerts.
Let's start with pillar number 1, nutrition, fueling the body.
Simply put, nutrition is just the process of obtaining food and actually utilizing it. You need energy to study, to play, to grow, and even to repair that scrape on your knee. We can actually split the living world into 2 basic survival strategies for getting that fuel. On one side, we have autotrophic nutrition. Green plants are like these self-sufficient little factories, right? Khud ka khana khud banate, using totally simple ingredients, carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. On the other side is heterotrophic nutrition. And well, this is us. Humans, animals, and even tiny amoebas. We're the seekers who depend either directly or indirectly on those autotrophs for our energy.
Now, for those autotrophs to actually make their food, they use photosynthesis. ध्यान से सुनो, these are the exact 4 events you must know for your exams. Step 1, chlorophyll absorbs light energy. Step 2, that light energy is converted into chemical energy. Step 3, water molecules split. And step 4, carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrates. I'm explicitly warning you guys right now, this exact sequence is a highly likely board question, so definitely note it down.
So, the plants made the food and we heterotrophs ate it. Khana to mil gaya, but energy kaise banegi? We got the food, but how is energy actually made from it? Because eating is really just the first step. To unlock that energy, our bodies have to break that complex food down into tiny, absorbable pieces. Let's see how our internal machinery pulls this off.
Let's trace the epic journey of your lunch. It all starts right in the mouth, where salivary amylase immediately begins converting starch into sugar. Then, the food drops down into the stomach, where hydrochloric acid kills off any germs, and the enzyme pepsin gets to work digesting proteins. Next, the liver steps in, secreting bile juice to neutralize that super powerful stomach acid and help break down fats. Then the pancreas provides this ultimate digestive cocktail to further break down proteins, fats, and carbs. Finally, the whole mixture reaches the small intestine, where tiny finger-like projections called villi massively increase the surface area to absorb all that perfectly digested food straight into your bloodstream. It's basically a highly optimized chemical processing plant right inside your belly.
Moving right along to pillar number 2, respiration, releasing the energy.
So a lot of students kind of confuse respiration with just breathing. But breathing is just taking in air. Respiration is actually the crucial cellular step where we break down that digested food we just talked about to actually release energy. We have 2 ways to do this. Aerobic respiration is our primary high-efficiency engine. It requires oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide and water as waste, and it releases a massive amount of energy. But what if there's no oxygen around? That is anaerobic respiration. It's essentially a backup system. Yeast uses this to produce ethanol. But in human muscles, say you're running a heavy sprint and run out of breath, your muscles use this anaerobic backup, which produces lactic acid. That lactic acid buildup is exactly what causes those painful muscle cramps. To ensure we get enough oxygen for that highly efficient aerobic respiration, our bodies rely heavily on the alveoli. Guys, this is a classic 3-mark exam topic. Alveoli are microscopic, thin-walled air sacs inside your lungs. They have this massive surface area and a really rich blood supply. And this right here is the exact site of gas exchange. This is where fresh oxygen enters your blood and the waste carbon dioxide is pushed out to be exhaled.
Which brings us to pillar number 3, transportation, moving things around.
Okay, so now we have perfectly digested food and fresh oxygen in our blood. But how does it actually get to the tip of your toe or the top of your brain? We need an internal highway system for moving things around. And the engine of this entire highway is the human heart, operating on a brilliant mechanism called double circulation. This simply means that in one complete cycle, blood passes through your four-chambered heart twice. First, the pulmonary circulation pumps blood to the lungs to grab that oxygen. Second, the systemic circulation pumps that fresh, oxygenated blood out to the rest of the body. The absolutely crucial point here is that this four-chamber design is a total evolutionary marvel. It completely prevents oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing, which ensures the highly efficient energy supply that warm-blooded humans like us need to survive.
And what exactly are the roads on this highway? Arteries and veins. I highly advise you to pause the explainer right now and note down these exact differences. Arteries carry blood away from the heart at very high pressure, which is exactly why they have thick, elastic walls. Veins, on the other hand, carry blood back toward the heart at a much lower pressure. So they have thinner walls, but they have these special valves inside them to prevent the blood from flowing backwards.
And hey, let's not forget our autotrophic friends. Plants have internal highways too. They obviously don't have a pumping heart, so instead they rely on two specialized tissues. First is the xylem, which transports water. A quick trick, think gel for xylem. It works by something called transpiration pull. So as water evaporates from the leaves, it creates a suction that physically pulls more water up from the roots. Then there's the phloem, which transports the food. Think fall for phloem. This movement of food is called translocation, and unlike the xylem, it's an active process, meaning it actually requires energy to happen.
Finally, we reach pillar number 4, excretion, removing the waste.
So, we burn fuel, we've transported nutrients all over, but all of these metabolic processes leave behind toxic waste, and we absolutely must clean it up before it harms us. The heroes of this story are the kidneys, and specifically their microscopic filtration factories called nephrons. Students, mark this as VIP. The structure and function of the nephron is a major 5-mark diagram target for your board exams. Millions of these tiny little units are constantly filtering your blood, keeping all the good stuff and turning the toxic metabolic waste into urine.
If you're asked to explain urine formation in your answer sheets, you need to write it in these exact 4 steps. Step 1, ultrafiltration. This is where blood is pushed through a filter under really high pressure. Step 2, selective reabsorption. Your body is smart, right? So it pulls back useful things like glucose and water into the blood. Step 3, tubular secretion. Any stub or remaining wastes are actively secreted straight into the tube. And step 4, final urine formation, which then travels down the ureters to be safely collected in the bladder.
All right, Section 5, CBSE Exam Alerts. This is your ultimate cheat sheet.
First up are the 1-mark definitions. Seriously, take a screenshot of these terms right now. If you see a 1-mark question on any of these, you write exactly this. Peristalsis is that wave-like muscular movement pushing food through your digestive tract. Transpiration is the loss of water vapor from plant leaves. Excretion is the biological process of removing metabolic wastes. They are precise, accurate, and guarantee you full marks.
And here are the big ones, the high-probability long-answer topics. Samajaya? For 3-mark questions, make sure you can explain double circulation, write out the differences between arteries and veins, explain the exact role of bile juice, and detail the alveoli. For those massive 5-mark questions, you absolutely must practice drawing and labeling the human heart and the nephron. Tonight, right after this explainer, I want you to sit down and practice writing out the full digestion process and the plant transportation mechanisms. Secure those top marks.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. Nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion. These 4 totally distinct life processes are seamlessly working together to keep you alive every single second of every single day. So what would happen to the entire complex system of your body if just one of them paused for even a minute? It's a brilliantly engineered yet wonderfully fragile biological machine. Thank you so much, students of Mount Sinai Mission School, for learning with us today. If you've grasped the concepts we've covered here, you are already miles ahead in your preparation. Keep studying, keep revising, and best of luck with your board exams. See you next time.